Workers standing on a live machine. Bad idea number 1. Then he hits the switch himself. Bad idea number 2. Machine jerks. He slips and learns the hard way why safety rails exist. Moral of the story, boys, don't stand where the work gets done. Machines don't do mercy. Truck beds up, everything's fine, till the hydraulics quit, and bam, it drops like a bad habit. Moral of the story, boys, check your gear or gravity'll check it for you. Salon's calm, rain hammering outside, till it ain't just rain anymore. Boom, pressure builds, glass blows, and the roof gives way like wet paper. Folks stand frozen, trying to make sense of chaos. Moral of the story, boys, when the sky opens up, don't test the ceiling. Get clear before gravity does the renovation. Guy's walking across a wooden platform, steps on a loose sheet, and whip, it flips, sends him straight down. Moral of the story, boys, if it ain't nailed, it's a trap. Check your footing before the floor checks you. Big sight, big lift, cranes hoisting a concrete beam like it's just another Tuesday. Crews watching, cameras rolling, everyone thinking it's business as usual. Operators moving slow, tracks crawling, guy in a vest walking alongside, guiding like he's done it 100 times. You can see a couple workers checking the treads, another drifting off, nothing looks wrong yet. Then the lean starts, real subtle at first, just a whisper of trouble. But when a machine that size shifts, it don't whisper for long. Groan, creak, boom, the crane tips, arm swings, and the whole thing crashes down in a cloud of dust and disbelief. Workers bolt, barely clearing it in time. One bad angle, one missed check, and 1,000,000 pounds of steel just kissed the dirt. Moral of the story, boys, cranes don't forgive shortcuts. You can guide a lift, but you can't talk gravity out of its job. Cars up on the lift, mechanics getting ready to weld, but there's liquid on the floor nobody noticed. He sparks the torch, and whoosh, flames race across the ground, swallow the car before he can blink. He tries to drop it down, but fires faster than hydraulics. Moral of the story, boys, clean your floor before you weld. One spark's all it takes to turn routine into ruin. Couple warehouse boys getting rowdy. One guy waves a flag, calls it a race like it's the Indy 500. Problem is, neither of them's looking where they're going. The guy on the left floors it, straight into the shelves. Boom. Metal, boxes, chaos. Whole aisle collapses like a house of cards on overtime. Moral of the story, boys, warehouses are for work, not drag races. Leave the flag waving for NASCAR. Rules exist for a reason, to keep folks safe. In this McDonald's kitchen, a worker's cleaning out hot oil, and the manager steps in to check something. But the floor's slick, and one wrong step sends her straight down. That bucket tips, scalding oil everywhere, and in a heartbeat, the whole scene turns bad. The worker tries to help, but it's already too late. Moral of the story, boys, safety first ain't a slogan. Clean floors save lives, and hot oil don't give second chances. Warehouse is humming, forklift driver moving loads, same routine as yesterday. But then mid-shift he just stops. No reason, no warning. Something in his gut says, get out. He hops off the forklift, takes a few steps, and right then, crash! A mountain of boxes full of bottles comes down like an avalanche. Glass shatters, crates explode, and the forklift disappears under the mess. He turns around, eyes wide, realizing he just dodged a burial by blind luck. Moral of the story, boys, sometimes safety ain't written in a manual. It's that little voice in your head saying, move now. Listen to it. Down at the port, cranes lifting a hunk of steel big enough to make your knees weak. Everything looks fine, steady, smooth, till the hook slips. That load drops like a meteor, smashes into a truck, and sends dust flying like a storm. One guy in a vest takes off running, barely clears it. Probably felt the wind off that fall. Camera pans back, crane still holding the empty hook like it's innocent. Dust settling, but heart's still racing. Moral of the story, boys, if it's hanging, it's dangerous. Never trust a cable, never stand under a load, and always be ready to move. Factory floors buzzing, machines humming. Workers moving metal like it's just another day. Two guys in blue helmets walk past a big rig, talking shop, not a worry in sight. A man in a white shirt's watching from the side, probably thinking the shift's running smooth. Then it happens, clang! A metal structure slips off the crane and drops straight onto one of the workers. The floor goes silent. Dust, panic, everyone frozen. White shirt doesn't waste a second, rushes in, grabs the controls, and lowers the hook to lift the thing off him. You can feel the tension, every creak of that crane like it's holding its breath. And somehow, the guy's still alive. Turns out that metal piece wasn't solid. It had a hollow center just wide enough to spare his life. Pure luck, the kind you don't get twice. Moral of the story, boys, luck's no safety plan. Check your hooks, check your loads, and never stand under what you can't lift. Gravity's always waiting for one bad move. Out in the open yard, one guy's working on a big electrical box, got his helmet, gloves, looks halfway ready, but the rest, not so much. No arc suit, no barriers, just him and a few thousand volts waiting to argue. He's fiddling with small panels, gets impatient, and pulls out a metal tool, starts banging on the box, trying to force it shut. Behind him, another worker's got his phone out, recording like it's a movie set. Then it happens. Boom! A blinding flash, sparks flying like lightning in a blender, and that whole box erupts into flame. The filmer jumps back, camera shaking, still rolling as smoke pours out and fire dances across the wires. Guy in front stumbles back, lucky the shock didn't take him with it. Moral of the story, boys, gloves and helmets don't make you fireproof. You don't poke at live power with metal, and you sure don't film a man playing tag with electricity. In the factory, a steel coil's hanging from a crane worker steps up, trying to loosen the rope wrapped around it with a crossbar. Looks harmless, till it ain't. Soon as he pops that line, whip, the roll snaps open like a metal spring from hell, catches him square, sends him stumbling back. Everyone freezes. Thought he was done for, but somehow the guy walks away, more scared than scarred. Moral of the story, boys, steel's got tension and it don't warn twice. Respect the coil, or it'll teach you physics the hard way. Garage looks calm, big truck sitting high across a few lifts, two guys poking around like they're just changing a tire. One's holding the side, the other walks to the back, not a care in the world. Then, the moment he lets go, creak, bam, front lifts up, back drops, and that whole truck flips like it's auditioning for a stunt show. Lands upside down, shaking the floor, tools flying, guys running for their lives. Lucky for him, nobody's under it, just a wrecked truck and a bruised ego. Moral of the story, boys, always unload before you lift. And next time, skip the heroics, use a jack, not your faith in physics. Guy's walking through the factory, glued to his phone, truck's backing up right behind him. Side clips him, sends him flying, inches from getting crushed. Moral of the story, boys, phones don't belong on the floor. Eyes up or wheels will wake you up. Down in the pit, three workers knee-deep in mud, wrestling with pipes while a big yellow excavator looms above. Just another day in the trenches, literally. Camera pans up, dirt flying, dump truck filling, everything moving like clockwork. Then it swings back down, and there's that bucket, drifting a little too close to the crew. Operator swings to the side, thud, clips one guy right in the helmet, drops him to his knees. Lucky his headgear took the hit. For a second, everything stops. No sound but the engine humming and hearts pounding. Moral of the story, boys, hard hats ain't just dress code. One good swing without them, and it's lights out for real. Guy's working on the factory floor, minding his business, when the crane above starts groaning. Next second, snap! Whole rig gives out and drops a machine big enough to flatten a truck. He jumps clear just in time. Dust flying, metal slamming, heart racing. Moral of the story, boys, this is why you don't stand under a crane. Steel don't warn twice. Gas station lot, calm, steady. One guy's working near a big tank full of liquid fuel, hoses running, equipment humming. Looks routine, until the smallest thing goes wrong. Maybe a leak, maybe a spark, and then whoosh, flames shoot up out of the container like the gates of hell just opened. The worker jumps back, heart pounding, watching the whole setup turn into a blowtorch in seconds. A couple folks nearby rush in, hoses in hand, trying to fight fire with water. But you can't outsmart fuel with a garden line. It just hisses back, flames climbing higher, heat rolling across the pavement. Then come the firefighters, foam guns ready, working in the thick smoke that swallowed half the station. They spray, sweep move as one, trying to beat back the beast before it takes the pumps, the trucks, maybe the whole block. Minutes drag like hours, smoke thick as night, flames still fighting to live. Slowly it starts to die down, foam coating everything in sight. The roar fades, and what's left is twisted steel, scorched concrete, and a crew that's lucky to be standing. Moral of the story, boys, when it comes to fuel, there's no such thing as routine. One loose line, one static spark, and you're dancing with fire. Safety ain't slowing you down. It's the only thing keeping you upright. Stadium job, just another windy day. Crews wrangling a giant tarp over the scaffolding, ropes stretching, wind howling, everything holding by a prayer. Then it happens. One worker still clipped to the tarp catches a gust, In a blink, he's airborne, flying 20 feet up like a human kite, hanging on for dear life while the whole crew screams his name. That tarp's flapping, ropes twisting, wind tossing him around like a rag doll, till he finally swings close enough to grab a metal beam and lock on tight. Whole site stops breathing till he's safe again. Moral of the story, boys: tie down the tarp, not yourself. Wind don't care about safety meetings. It'll make you the headline if you're careless. Cranes lifting a metal frame. Everything looks fine till it ain't. The boom leans, ground gives, and bam! The whole rig crashes over. Moral of the story, boys: when steel starts tilting, don't stand and stare. Move, gravity don't negotiate. Guy's on a ladder in a busy store, one slip, and bam! He's down before anyone blinks. Moral of the story, boys: anchor your ladder, or you'll be the next aisle display. Guy's up a ladder, grinding a rusty tank, sparks flying, job looks steady. Then suddenly, that tank starts rolling, and boom, down he goes. He hits the dirt, lucky to walk it off like nothing happened. Moral of the story, boys: if it's round, it's not stable. Block your load, or gravity'll do it for you. Warehouse floors calm. A white truck with a blue gas tanker's unloading. Everything routine. Driver hops out, checks the hose, looks around like he's done it 1,000 times. Then, and you ain't gonna believe this, the man pulls out a cigarette. Right there, next to the gas line. One flick of the lighter, and whoosh! Flame races across the floor faster than he can blink. Gas catches, tires light up, smoke rolls thick. He jumps back, trying to stomp it out, but it's no match. The whole rig's burning from the ground up. Other guys rush in with extinguishers and buckets, but it's chaos. Fire laughing, alarms blaring, everyone scrambling. Moral of the story, boys: you don't smoke where things go. Boom! Gas and fire don't mix, and one dumb habit can torch the whole day's work, or worse. Guy's cutting a metal rope holding iron pipes. Soon as it snaps, whip, the load shifts, flatbed flips, and so does he. He's lucky to walk it off. Moral of the story, boys: tension steel's got attitude. Stand clear, or it'll teach you to fly. Guy's working next to a roller when his t-shirt gets snagged. In a heartbeat, the machine's dragging him in. He's fighting it, barely keeps his balance, and somehow the shirt rips free before he does. Lucky break, 1 second slower, and he'd be part of the machinery. Tight clothes save lives, boys. Forklift driver tries to grab a few logs off a mountain-sized pile. Can't get a grip, so he gives it a poke. Bad move. The whole stack comes alive, rolling down like thunder. He bolts. Smart man, but that forklift gets smacked around like a bowling pin. Moral of the story, boys: don't test gravity with heavy timber. Logs always win. Security cam catches this masterpiece. Two semis parked tight, minding their own business, when here comes genius number 3, trying to wedge his rig right between them. He lines it up once, bam, hits the trailer, backs up, tries again, crunch, hits the other side. At this point, you'd think he'd quit, but nope, he's committed. Could be drunk, could be high, could just be having a real bad day with spatial awareness. But that man turns parking into demolition practice. Metal bending, bumpers screaming, and the two parked rigs just sitting there taking it like champs. Whole thing's on camera too. No excuses, no denials, just full-blown evidence. Moral of the story, boys: some folks can't park a shopping cart, let alone 18 wheels. And when you hit 2 trucks in one go, your paycheck's going straight to the body shop. Sleepy driver on a pallet jack drifts off and bam, right into a shelf full of boxes. Whole thing topples like dominoes in slow motion. Another guy runs in, making sure he's still in one piece. Lesson learned, boys: coffee's cheaper than cleanup. Guy in a blue jumpsuit's working the machine, reaches in too close. Next second, wham! It grabs him like it's hungry. He's lucky, only his suit got shredded, not him. Walked away with a scare and a story. Moral of the story, boys: machines don't forgive curiosity. Hands off the moving parts. Two fellas drag in a shiny new flat screen, unbox it like it's Christmas morning. No mounts, no plan, just pure confidence, and 2 rickety ladders. One climbs the table, others holding the TV like it's a sacred relic. Then snap, those ladders give out faster than their common sense. TV hits the floor, they follow right behind, surrounded by debris and bad decisions. Moral of the story, boys: tools exist for a reason. You can't balance a $1,000 screen on wishful thinking and wobbly ladders.